So what's happened? The turtle has caved to Pelosi. What do I mean? It means that the Journalism Competition and Preservation Act is now going to be part of the sure to be passed National Defense Authorization Act. Oh my God, there's too many words. Yes, basically what it means is that big tech will now have to pay big media for the content that they create because they're going to have an antitrust exemption, according to this law, that will allow them to negotiate as a group. Sometimes we call that as a cartel. It's an antitrust violation, but not if there's a special exemption, which is what's in this law, so that the failing media companies can now negotiate money from the successful big tech companies. It's a wealth transfer engineered by the government, where the government is picking winners and losers. Now, this is something that is passed or being attempted in a number of jurisdictions across the globe: New Zealand, Canada, Australia, and of course, the European Union. Let's go to Breitbart. Sources: McConnell caves to Pelosi. Schumer allows the JCPA, which is the basically media cartel bill, bailout to be included in the national defense package. So this is a pretty tried and true legislative strategy. You have this bill that's probably going to pass, and what you try to do in order to get votes for that bill, which everyone's going to vote for anyways, you load it up with a bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with that bill, but would not otherwise pass on its own. So the Journalism Protection, Competition and Preservation Act, it wouldn't pass on its own because it stinks. So what you try to do is buy off a couple of votes, get a couple of votes, and you lard it in with something else that has nothing to do with it. That's unfortunately how politics works. More from Breitbart. Over the objections of House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy, likely the next speaker, we'll see about that, other congressional leaders have acquiesced to lobbyist pressure and agreed to include the JCPA in the next National Defense Authorization Act. McCarthy was the only member of congressional leadership to fight back against the inclusion. Wow, I wonder how hard he worked to get that little angle into this story. Nice job by the McCarthy press office, I guess. But was overruled 3-1 after McConnell caved. In other words, Schumer and Pelosi were already for it, and now McConnell's just going to let it happen. So, yeah, what can McCarthy really do at this point? Other prominent opponents were Jim Jordan, Steve Scalise, Marsha Blackburn. I just love me some Marsha Blackburn. Man, I can't remember the last time she's ever said anything I disagreed with. And Tom Cotton. Wait till tomorrow, right? They always disappoint you, but I do like Marsha Blackburn. This bill is essentially a transfer of wealth from Silicon Valley, in other words, big tech, Facebook, Meta, Microsoft, all those, to the discredited and distrusted corporate legacy media. That's right. Why can't you figure out a way to make money without having to be getting a antitrust exemption from the federal government? And it's highly controversial. Beyond the financial payouts to the media companies, they will be able to form a joint negotiating entity, cartel, immune from antitrust regulation. So they're going to get an antitrust exemption to negotiate with big tech companies. So if you don't like big tech, we're going to just create big media rather than allow the market to figure it out. Hey, you know what? If you don't want to give out your content, show it's shareable over the internet, you can put it behind a paywall. Oh, you want the traffic and you want the money, but you can't get it because the marketplace is not rewarding you with the money. So instead, you're going to the federal government to gain leverage in your negotiation. How about you just create more value for the end consumer so that the end consumer wants to pay you more money? How about that? That'd be a good idea. Oh, that's too hard. You'd rather just get your lobbyists in there to see if you can get a better buying power with the big tech. Censorship is sure to be a frequent demand of media companies, despite provisions in the bill that purportedly stop media companies from negotiating on the suppression of any competitor. There is nothing to stop them from asking that their content be prioritized over broadly drawn categories as pretext for censorship, like disinformation, like you must promote the Washington Post over disinformation from Alex Berenson or fill in the blank, right? You've got to give us, Washington Post, all failing media companies, higher rankings in search than the little guys, right? Oh, you got to favor us. So, like any monopoly, it always delivers an inferior product at a higher price. I don't know why I should be even disappointed in McConnell. I should never have any expectation. You know what they say, if when you have expectations, you can get disappointed. And with McConnell, I should have no expectations, right? He's kind of like a Democrat. He's part of the swamp. I'd like to see some legal challenge to this, but probably there won't be a legal challenge because that's what the bill is going to do. It's going to carve out an exception so you can't sue them based upon antitrust. So this is going to be one of those things, assuming this actually flies through. This is, again, just sources from Breitbart. But this is going to be one of these things that is a structural thing in society that on a daily basis you don't notice, but has a huge impact upon how we live our lives and the democracy that we're supposed to live in. This, in fact, is a threat to our democracy. Democrats, rejoin democracy is at threatened democracy is on the ballot. This is the type of thing that threatens democracy. All right, from Plymouth, America's hometown, I'm John F. Gately. You can call me Jack in Massachusetts. Behind enemy lines. Have a great day.